Welcome back to the SAC podcast episode. I don't know which way it's going to come up on the screen, but it's episode 13. If you're watching on YouTube, it might be episode 31, TBD. I'm here with TJ, Eric, and Benjie. We're all here recapping college baseball this weekend. It's a Monday night, and I want to ask actually Brendan about this because Brendan works kind of Monday nights, but he's getting a new job. What do y'all? I kind of like recording on Monday nights, and only for the reason of everyone's rankings are out, and we don't have to wait to talk about them and release a whole nother episode. It's kind of nice to wrap it all into one almost.
I high key agree with that.
I personally love it. My job performance in the morning will show, but
well,
podcast first, job second.
I don't think we've made you shotgun too many teas per episode, but maybe we should be changed. Oh, there it goes. He's got it on deck. Well, that's good because we're definitely going to be recapping all our bold predictions from last week. Because this weekend it was maybe one of the wildest weekends. And we always say that every weekend almost.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we say that every weekend, and somehow the weekends just one up themselves.
I feel like every single week.
But I feel like, okay, I'm going to say in the past several weekends, the quality of baseball has been outstanding every weekend. And so we say wow, it was a wild weekend to watch baseball. But this weekend in particular was ridiculous from a upset perspective. So many ranked teams or favored teams even lost series against teams they weren't, supposed to.
I think it was something like 15 of the top 25 or something like that.
I think Brennan had a stat several weeks ago. If you guys remember, it was 13 of the top 25 teams lost their series. So it was like that, but even crazier.
Yeah, we're getting close to that stat.
Yeah, literally. What's the fit? Let's do a quick fit check because I love everybody, what everybody's rocking tonight, but I'm gonna be honest, my eyes kind of go right to Benjie over there. That is
my eyes always go to Benjie, so this is
what can I say? I am the prettiest here. Yeah.
Whoa. That sounded a little humble there, huh?
No, I'm just speaking the truth, man.
What are you rocking for our listeners? Because I got
fucking sweet jersey. The old nice. Thank you to Eric for the clean pickup, but I got the all black pinstripe Vandy jersey. They've been roughing it, but I still got to support my boys.
From the official Vanderbilt school store too.
Yes, sir.
Must be nice to have your school sell official jerseys. I wouldn't know about that.
Georgia Tech does not do that.
Yeah, I love it.
No, it's sweet. Whenever I think Vanderbilt, I always think the clean whites with the gold logo. I immediately go to the black ones and then the camo ones. They've got it's not as flashy as Oregon.
Those dark green ones.
I love
the ones that they wore on Sunday, I believe. Ooh, those are hot.
They've got a great kit. Myself, I'm rocking. No, you go ahead.
I'm rocking the Said the Sky sentiment tour jersey. Just saw him Friday. I know Travis unfortunately couldn't make it.
He literally said this guy was in Pittsburgh the day I came to New York. So priorities.
And I will say, off topic, I know a lot of people don't listen to EDM here, but if you want to listen to some new music, Said the Sky, it's a sweet mix of some 2000s pop punk and EDM music. So I definitely recommend. That's the jersey I'm rocking.
No free ads, but we give a free ad to Said the Sky. On a related note, I'm rocking an Aleadium Red Rocks 2018 jersey. Is the first EDM jersey I ever bought.
I think you're not doing that jersey justice. You need to stand all the way up because
if I stand, I'm going to show everybody my dick. And
we'll blur it out.
There is a mirage of the Red Rocks at the bottom of the jersey that apparently is NSFW for this podcast. There we go. Mike's in the way. was kind of directed right at the old poop shooter, but that's
Let's
fine.
go.
Yeah. Today I got the old Adidas summertime short sleeve batting practice warm up. Just came from baseball practice. So
I still want to see you stand up and slap your ass too, though. Sack pod, baby.
Yes.
now everyone's got to do it. Come on, Benjie. Show us why you're the best looking.
All right, whatever.
Give the people what
Are
they
you wearing
want.
jeans? Are you wearing jeans?
Yeah, dude, I was just on a date, man.
Still unconfirmed if Travis is actually
taking the old
wearing
lady
pants or
out for a
not.
drink, man.
Let's leave that to the imagination. Definitely not. Well, yeah. You know who was wearing pants this weekend? Tony Vitello tried to put on the big boy pants. I know we were talking a little bit before this. I don't think Benjie saw the stuff on Twitter, he's not a Twitter guy, so I'll forgive him. But basically,
I've been trying to be fair. I've really been trying.
he's working on it.
He's a good guy, Benjie, not technologically advanced Benjie.
I believe it was in the Saturday game. Yeah, it was in the Saturday game.
Yeah, Saturday.
Chase Dollander was on the bump. And in the first inning, an Alabama player hit a comebacker that hit Dollander. And everyone pretty much knew he was injured. And so the Tennessee pitching coach comes roaring out of the dugout and goes right past Dollander, like to point and start talking to the Alabama dugout. So come to find out later, apparently they were like cheering a little bit because like Dollander got injured, which is never a good look. And again, this is all, I'm sure we don't have any listeners that are Alabama fans, but this is all, unconfirmed sources on Twitter. But why else would a pitching coach, storm right by his number 2 pitcher, like on the ground after taking a comebacker?
Yeah, I mean, he's immediately stepping up for his pitcher. Obviously, something was said if he's just going to storm past his number 2 pitcher that's laying on the ground. Right. So obviously, something had to have been said. So as the Tennessee pitching coach is moving over to Alabama dugout, Alabama or one of the umpires kind of intercepts him, is talking to him and trying to calm him down, and then the other umpire, who I'm only going to describe as White Goodman, throws the, and I say that because he has the same egregious mustache and lamb chops on the side. But the worst part is that he comes and throws the Tennessee pitching coach out, and he's not even talking to him. Like, the Tennessee pitching coach is talking to another umpire, and this dude yeets him out. And so, of course, Vitello comes out, and he's really heated. Like, you just threw my pitching coach out, and he wasn't even talking to you. And then he gives Vitello the hook. And here's where it really pops off. Vitello kind of
chest bumps him.
It was a hip thrust.
It was a very
a little bit of sensuality. Yeah. So White Goodman does a LeBron James level flop, and then
immediately gives him the I'm telling on your mom. I'm telling your mom that you just did this. And sprints away because he's 5'3". I literally just saw this. Looks like he has a stick up his ass.
Okay, Benjie, you're seeing this for the first time. So what were your thoughts? Seeing it for the first time.
I just saw this like 2 hours ago, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. But I did think it was like the craziest thing in the world that the umpire was just freaking out.
Apparently this same umpire called a Tennessee game in the World Series last year and kind of hoed them a little bit. And in game 1, he was the home plate umpire. And I think I saw on Twitter that Tennessee filed a complaint for him missing 57 ball strike calls.
Mm-hmm. They did immediately after the game. You think about it, that's half the pitches in most games.
So game two, he's umpiring third base, and he tells Tennessee to stop with the fur coat home run celebration.
Did you see who picked it up after they told him that?
Is it Mike Concho?
Tennessee softball.
Oh, really?
That umpire told them to stop doing it. So Tennessee softball took the fur coat and the daddy hat, and they were starting to use it.
I love that because I'm going to be honest. If you're going to give up a fucking dong shot to whoever, you lost that battle. whoever hit that has a right to celebrate, and whatever they fucking celebrate in the dugout, they're not being egregious towards everybody else. They're just,
But also
Absolutely.
they've been doing it
putting
all
on
season.
a fur coat. The Angels are putting on a cowboy hat. Everybody has something.
Here's the thing.
Toronto's got a
Yeah.
like a dress
The
code.
jacket.
It doesn't
Yeah, they
stop
have
with
a-
baseball. It goes into
a
football.
suit.
Like we got a turnover chain from the U. Like,
Yeah, if you want them to stop
these are just-
celebrating, then be
yeah.
better, then beat them.
Yeah,
Especially
these kids, it's a bunch of kids, 18, 19, 20-year-olds going out there having fun. I mean, shit, if I hit a 500-foot bomb, granted, I can't do that ever on,
Yeah, we went over that last week.
on anything. I'm going to celebrate. Like, come
Absolutely.
on. Don't take celebrations out of the game because someone, I threw a pitch right down the middle 3-0 and it got tanked off me onto the fucking next street.
First thing about that is, again, as a pitcher, like you're winning the at bat 75% of the time. So like if you give up a bomb, you're going to hear about it, and that's just part of the game. But it was specifically to this situation, you have to, Vitello, he has to know that like he can't touch the umps, and so he got suspended for 4 games, and you know you can't do that. On the other hand, regardless of what level it is, whether it's college, major leagues, minor leagues, having the umpire insert themselves into the game to that degree is just, you don't need it. The game doesn't need it.
It's almost like coming in with a held grudge. Like you can't do that. It's almost like it's almost like what we talked about with the Galarraga West situation. Like he didn't come into the next few games with a grudge against anybody. He came in, he was like, "Oh no, I made a mistake." You can't do that as an umpire or as an official in any sort of sport or level of play. So
yeah, the kids are the stars, not the. Did y'all see that Joe West is starting a podcast? I don't know if y'all saw
way.
that. He is.
No way.
He's starting a weekly podcast.
How do we get him on here?
I don't know if he might be above our pay grade at the moment.
Hey, we can try.
Yes, we'll shoot a DM. So I apologize to our listeners. This is not a Tennessee podcast. I think we've started off every podcast.
Yes, it is.
No, this is a Wake Forest podcast.
We've started every podcast, I think, for the last several times talking about them.
We're an Evansville podcast. Thank you very much.
Actually, yes, we are. We are an Evansville podcast.
A Purple Aces podcast.
Would love to be a Mercer podcast. We have DM'd.
Best
we
team in
DM'd the
Georgia.
head coach. Yeah, Kings of Georgia, right? Oh,
actually, no. Georgia Southern is the
Kings
I
was going to say you're going.
Hey, we'll get into that.
Yeah. So again, apologize for all the Tennessee talk that kind of dominated the social media sphere this weekend. But again, thanks to Alabama for pissing Tennessee off even further, and I don't want to like people. A lot of people are projecting that Georgia Tech might land in the Knoxville Regional this year, and that's like the nightmare death scenario for any team at this point. Like, you really want to go play a pissed off Tennessee team? No, you don't.
And it's been constant all year.
Yeah.
All year, everybody's just pissing them off, and they just keep doing it and doing it and doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to turn things over to TJ. Yeah.
Yeah, talking off Tennessee, we're going to go through the weekend results here and then jump straight into rankings because everybody knows that just apparently we are untrustable with rankings. So start off at Tennessee. Tennessee obviously won that series 2-1 against Alabama. Arkansas swept LSU. Oregon State swept Long Beach State. Miami lost 1 of 2 to Virginia Tech. Oklahoma State won 2-1 against Virginia. Vanderbilt won 2-1 against Florida. Texas lost their series 1-2 to Kansas State. That's upsetting. Stanford won their series against UCLA 2-1. Mercer swept UC Greensboro. Georgia lost their series 1-2 to Texas A&M. Virginia lost their series to Pitt 1-2. Florida lost their series to Vandy 1-2. Wake Forest lost their series 1-2 to Clemson. Georgia Tech beat UNC in their series 2-1. Texas Tech got swept, RIP Eric, by TCU. Florida State swept Louisville. Southern Miss, the Kings of Mississippi, swept Florida International University. LSU got swept by Arkansas. NC State swept Boston College. Weird seeing you here again. Louisville swept Florida State. TCU swept Texas Tech. Virginia Tech didn't sweep. Virginia Tech won their series 2-1 against Miami. Gonzaga won 2-1 against Portland. Oregon, shout out the Ducks, swept Washington. Notre Dame swept Duke. UCLA lost 1-2 to Stanford. Texas State swept UT Arlington. Maryland swept Ohio State. Auburn lost 1-2. RIP to you guys, where you at? 1-2 to Mississippi State. Rutgers swept Indiana, and UConn swept Seton Hall. So that is the old weekend results. Sorry, that was a little long-winded. Trying my hardest.
Yeah, but now you know, as the listener, with everything that happened in college baseball, we're going to do a little bit deeper dive into some of the notables.
Yes,
so
yes, the fuck we will.
One quick note, I think we're going to be debuting a little new segment later today. I'm not going to spoil that at the moment. I think I want to start doing either, I don't know if we'll start this season or maybe next season. I want to do a Kings of the Country map every week, like from the start of the season, publish a little map that has on each state what the current best team in the state is, and then if a team leapfrogs them,
like a conquest map.
Yeah, almost like that.
That's actually pretty cool.
I don't do those, but I like it.
I think that might be maybe be on the lookout for that.
Next season, I want to take Brennan's Roman style rankings of you beat them, you take their spot, and just keep track of that based off the preseason rankings, see what it shakes up with.
That would be pretty funny. Well, all right. So speaking of rankings, again, the pro of recording on Monday is that we're coming to you guys Monday night after everybody's dropped their rankings, including us. There's a lot of shakeup. So, a lot of volatility going on in the lists. What was your guys' first responses to either your own polls that people had some comments with, or some of the major national polls?
Well, I think I'll start it off here. A couple of people on Twitter. It's been a going theme the past few weeks, actually. Apparently, it's hard to take us seriously. So someone today said it's really hard to take you seriously when one of your guys doesn't have Southern Miss ranked, which I kind of understand. But at the end of the day, everybody's always going to have something to fucking say. Sorry that there's only 25 fucking teams we can put in the goddamn top 25.
This is getting real aggressive.
Some of the bigger ranking systems, just off the top, Baseball America has 10 teams that we have ranked unranked. So that being said, we can go into it. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest. That was for all of you Ole Miss, Auburn listeners who I haven't heard a lot from you in about a week. Kind of ironic. And your Southern Miss fans. So, yeah.
I think the most surprising thing about our rankings, because for anyone who doesn't know how we make ours, we all come out with our rankings. We don't talk about who we're going to put where, and then we just shit on each other after they all publish and figure out who put who where. Our top four is pretty much consistent across the board. I think that's the first time that's ever happened this season. Tennessee, Arkansas, number 1 and 2 across the board, and then Oregon State, Miami for almost everybody.
Yeah, except for Sujas, who has Vandy at 3, which I can't shit on too much because I have Vandy at 5.
I don't understand what. Listen, it's Vanderbilt. It's like, now I saw Sujas was one of the all-time stupidest tweets I've ever seen. He basically said Vanderbilt was the 3rd best team in the SEC, and the SEC is the best conference in baseball. Therefore, Vanderbilt should be number 3. And then the dude literally responded to him. I couldn't.
He called him out immediately.
He was like, "So why do you have Georgia at 23?" Because Georgia is that's where Georgia should be. But I do want to ask, I don't understand how Vanderbilt. They're Vanderbilt, it's like Texas, like when you think college baseball, you think Vanderbilt right now for the last 5-10 years. But the stretch they've had, right? Like this series victory against Florida at home, and they barely pulled off the victory. Like every game. Let me pull up my
They're
notes.
close. They're close.
Yeah, I think for me it was just that not necessarily just going off names, but I mean Vanderbilt. They're always a powerhouse team. I know they've had this not like losing streak, but they've been falling off. I don't expect them to keep that up going into the later seasons of conference play.
But what's giving you like confidence to say that? I mean, they lost to Oklahoma State. They had a good stretch where they were one of the top 5 teams in the country, right? They ran it up to like 19 or 20-2, so at one point. But they're beaten up on like Rhode Island, Hawaii. And then they lost to South Carolina, get swept at home by Tennessee. Again, it's Tennessee, but that was at home. You got swept at home. And then I think, was there another series of Benjie in between the Tennessee and Florida one?
It was Auburn.
It was the Auburn series.
They lost to Auburn as well, 2-1.
Yeah, I mean, yikes. Oh, that's right. Sorry, I got confused. Florida. Yeah, they lost to Auburn. I mean,
yeah.
So they bounced back obviously with the win against Florida, but top 5, it's like that. I don't know if they.
Yeah, and I have them at 6, but yeah, I think the next couple weekends with Kentucky, A&M, and Georgia are gonna really, and then they have Arkansas next. I think those weekends will really dictate whether or not they're a true top 25 team or not. Because if they lose to either Kentucky or A&M, if they lose those series, they're out.
I guess I'm talking.
I wouldn't say they're out, but I think they're lower. They're not going to be in the top 10. Might be top 20.
Dude,
but I think for sure that if they have to win out the next 4 series,
if they lose one of those series, that means they've lost 3 of the 5, if not 4 of the 5 last series they've had.
Yeah. So just moving off of Vandy, I know we can't spend
They started time. They started the season 22-2, and now they're 25-10.
Yeah, so it's been a rough stretch.
I think what we need to
because D1 baseball didn't rank them. Like they dropped them out. Yeah,
unranked.
Completely out.
Yeah. So Baseball America also did not rank them.
Yeah, so I mean, we still have them pretty high, which I guess we're pretty banking on them to bounce back pretty significant in a pretty major way.
And obviously, we've touched on it in the past. The major difference that we have between all the other rankings is Mercer.
Yeah, we have to talk about that.
The best record in college baseball right now. I get it, strength of schedule, all this. They are 31-5. You can't be taking anything away from these guys. I mean, who is it? Baseball America has Wofford College at 24 in their rankings, and Wofford College is 24-9, I believe. It's absurd to me that no respect is being given to the best record in college baseball, and also the second best record in college baseball in Rutgers.
Yes, yeah.
Which
I have a point on Rutgers because they're going to be my pretender later on.
Well, then let's not
go ahead and spoil it. But they haven't really played anybody. I was looking, because I looked, 31-6 is obviously super impressive, but they're playing Indiana, other Big Ten schools, and they're not blowing these teams out.
So you're saying the biggest difference between a team like Mercer and Rutgers is like midweeks, like Mercer has
Mercer has big wins
wins
over the big Georgia teams. Georgia Southern has big wins over other big Georgia teams. Rutgers is playing NJIT and other Big Ten schools. Like they're not putting up these super impressive wins.
Right.
I'll go more into why I think that when we get to the contender pretender series,
and that's fine. And I think what's going to happen is we'll get onto it a little later, but Mercer midweek plays Georgia Tech. And I think that is going to be I mean, in my mind, that's a deciding factor if I'm on any of these big college
Do you think
baseball.
they'll actually, if they beat them, do you think they'll actually put them in? Because most
personally,
people look at midweeks like they're nothing.
right.
Which is
And
sad,
I
but-
think if Mercer beats Georgia Tech and they are not, if Mercer beats Georgia Tech and they win their
Their next
weekend series, which I don't have it pulled up, but if they go 4-0 this whole week and they are not in the top 10 or even in the top 25, I will be like legitimately confused at what other people are looking at, because they will then have beaten a very good Georgia Tech ACC team and whoever their midweek is, their weekend is, which I know their strength schedule isn't the greatest, but I mean, you've played 36 baseball games and you've only lost 5.
I mean,
it doesn't matter who you're playing at that point.
Wofford College is ranked, and Mercer plays Wofford this weekend. So,
yes, actually, that is who it is, because
somebody tweeted at Kendall Rogers asking about that, and he said basically whoever wins this is probably going to find themselves in the top 25 according to D1 baseball.
Yeah, I was trying to find that. It was in the D1 baseball chat, and I saw it on Twitter. I forgot to screenshot it, but yeah, it'll have to be on our pick. Well, okay, I don't know if it'll be on our pick because I think we're all.
I think it should be. I think it should be, to be completely honest, because one of our followers on the Twitter, at MROH77, he's been a big follower of the podcast, huge Mercer fan, and he says we need to watch out for that. So I think that needs to be on the watch list, just for that aspect. But I mean, Mercer being unranked for everybody is just, it really does blow my mind for that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think just looking at D1s, right? They definitely catapulted Southern Miss pretty high, which we're fine with. We have them pretty high too. Stanford jumped a whole lot after the series victory at UCLA.
Yeah, Stanford was unranked for Baseball America beforehand,
and then
Virginia Tech jumped up to 18.
Virginia Tech got a lot of credit for taking that series against Miami. Granted, that was a home series, but that's a big set for them. Where did they fall for us? They fell
23.
Yeah,
22.
Yeah, so pretty good. Texas drops down to 10 after their loss. And again, when I say these values, I'm talking about D1 baseball. One of the ones I'm struggling to comprehend is UCLA. They've got them at 13. I'm very concerned about UCLA. I actually tweeted this today. Listening to the 11.7 podcast, they had a $500 bet on air about UCLA being a national championship or national seed. And so Thatcher Hurd, well, one of the guys was betting the other guy that they were or weren't. So Thatcher Hurd, their best pitcher, one of the best in the country, he didn't pitch in the Stanford series. He's out indefinitely with a spine, like a stress fracture in his spine. So like when you lose an ace like that, we've seen how badly it impacts a team like Texas when you lose a Sunday guy. And we're going to see how Dollander and Tennessee bounce back. I don't know if Dollander's going to have to spend any time on the injured list or whatever the equivalent is for college baseball. But that's big for them. And I don't see them making a lot of noise without like that. He was their ace, bona fide ace. I personally think Notre Dame should be completely out of baseball now after that embarrassing sweep at Duke. I guess I shouldn't talk about that. I've got them included in my contender pretender.
You also have them ranked at 24.
Yeah, I mean they do have here. I'll talk about them now instead of submitting them because they're not my contender or my pretender.
We could just go ahead and jump into the contender pretender.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. So Notre Dame, I have as a streaky team because they started off 12-1, which included a sweep of Louisville, which was big. Then they lose to Virginia Tech, one game, and then cancel 2 games. They canceled their game at Northwestern, and then they go 9-0, including a sweep of Florida State, and then they get swept by Duke. So if they get hot, then they can beat good teams. But like, my goodness, they looked so bad against Duke. And we've said from the beginning how we think Notre Dame are pretenders. I know that's still Benjie's pick. Is it still your pick to win the ACC, Benjie? Even with honestly, Miami and Virginia and how strong the ACC is?
I'm gonna be honest, with Virginia Tech playing the way they are, they got a chance.
They came
that,
out of
that
nowhere.
running. I've owned them on fantasy, and I've literally, I mean, I said at the beginning of the season to watch out for some of their players.
Yeah.
I did not expect them to be performing as well as they have been, and thank God they have been, but it's still so.
Yeah.
they're
Big
actually
series win for
my
them.
they're my contenders. So
What's their schedule coming up for your contender pick?
So for Tech contenders wise, I have them. They have Boston College. Virginia is going to be the statement piece. They got Virginia not this weekend but next, and I think that will be their statement piece for how they perform. And then they face Louisville and then Duke to finish off the season.
Better watch out for Duke. They'll sweep you.
Yeah. So I think Virginia is their biggest threat out of the schedule with how they've been playing. Because I think they just had a slow start and they're just picking it up. So I think it's interesting to see. They're second overall in all D1 baseball and batting average. They're second in home runs scored.
I did see that they were up there on home runs.
Yeah, they're second overall in home runs now, and then they're 14 in runs scored as well. So they're definitely worthy of doing it. Their pitching needs some help. They're not even top 50 for anything. But actually, I think ERA they might be. I think they were 40 something, if I'm not mistaken. But hitting wise, their bats have gotten hot, and I hope they stay hot because I like seeing teams come out of nowhere. So
yeah, do you have a pretender pick?
I didn't really pick a true pretender, but I think Ole Miss is still the
yeah, we can all
they're the big pretender for everybody. So I mean, some people still have them ranked, which blows my mind.
Yeah, I'll hit you guys since we've already talked about some of my teams. I talked about Notre Dame. I think UCLA, like I said, is a pretender without Hurd. They just don't have the pitching staff, the depth to recover from that and really make a deep run, or even make I think a run in the Pac-12 with Stanford surging. Who is my contender? They are 11-3 over the last 14 games, with, as we know, huge series wins at Oregon State, and then this one at UCLA. So the pitching had always been there, and we've talked about that before, but now the bats are doing it too, backing them up in a pretty major way. They scored 9 and 11 runs in games 1 and 3 of that series at UCLA. So big series win for them on the road. And then I think so Georgia is without their best pitcher, Jonathan Cannon. He's injured right now. Until he comes back, they're a pretender, I think. Didn't they just lose the series to A&M and get absolutely blown out in game 2?
23-9.
Yeah.
23-9. So before I jump into my pretender, I'd like, because we were talking about people that lead the NCAA and stuff, I'd like to give a shout out to Nolan Devos of Davidson, who since our bullpen interview has talked about Michael Carrico. And since then, he has been either number 1 or number 2 ranked in on-base percentage at a 576 clip.
Speaking of best records in college, have you seen Davidson's record?
Yes, and not to be followed up by the number 3 NCAA leader in on-base percentage, Ryan Wilson of Davidson, at a 556 clip. So Davidson is hot. What, they're 28-5?
They only have 6 losses, I think.
Yeah, 28-6 or something like that. They are on one right now.
They're doing it.
Yeah, I just wanted to give that little shout out before I went into that. My contender, contrary to what Eric is going to say, is Rutgers. Again, we talked about they have one of the best records in college baseball. They have games against Iona, Princeton, and Iowa. I think personally they're heavy Big Ten contenders. I think with their pitching staff that they can get through a lot of the Big Ten, and they will almost definitely host a regional. But they're my contender. My pretender. You look confused.
Host a regional. That means one of the best 16 teams in the country. Wow. Okay.
I said what I said. My pretender Take a sip here. Any guesses, boys?
Old piss.
Is it Auburn or Old Miss?
Once again.
Wrong. Right. It is Auburn. I mean, really, Mississippi State?
I agree with that.
They are. I don't even want to say that they're dog water because that's just complimenting.
It's kind of a compliment. Yeah, it's a compliment.
Yeah. Mississippi State is bad. And anybody that says Mississippi State is good is still living in the 2021 season where they won the national championship. And I don't think that that is fair. Auburn is not good. I have not heard from a single Auburn fan that was tweeting us last week about
they had one chance to prove it, to prove they were legit.
About how Auburn, I will give credit to one guy. I don't remember who it was. I'll go back.
Is it Sonny?
The Sonny DeChara fan
Sonny
page.
DeChara.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't him.
Oh, I thought you were giving credit to the player.
No. It was the Sonny DeChara stan.
God bless.
That was his name. He was like, well, now that we've talked a lot of shit, now we're gonna get beat by Ole Miss in the series. So, or not Ole Miss, Mississippi State. But yeah, Auburn.
They're probably gonna lose to South Carolina and then Tennessee next weekend, the next 2 weekends too.
I mean, you
can book Tennessee.
Yeah, you can book Tennessee.
100% Tennessee. I
South Carolina, we've talked about it.
That's just gonna be another South Carolina big win for them.
It's gonna be a game time decision for whether they want, but Auburn.
No, I think Auburn will beat South Carolina because South Carolina loses to shit teams and beats really good teams.
Oh shit!
But should
sneak level 100.
Big brain.
Wait, you said they beat really good teams but lose to shit teams? So they should lose.
Yeah,
in my eyes at least.
South Carolina should lose.
No.
Yes.
You're saying South Carolina beats good teams
and loses to shit teams. So they're going to lose.
Which is why Auburn's going to beat them. Yeah.
I know this.
Well, I'm going to go ahead.
That was reverse psychology on me. Can't do that.
He wasn't ready for that.
I'm going to go ahead and contradict TJ's contender here.
Live.
Yeah, my pretender is Travin's contender, Rutgers. Like I said earlier, a 31-5 record is super impressive, but they haven't played anybody. They're playing Northern New Jersey, Southern New York type schools. They're playing Big Ten schools, which, as we've seen, the Big Ten is not a very powerful baseball conference. They have a 3.07 ERA as a team against not that good of offenses. And their opponents against them have an 8.23 ERA. So if you look at the stats alone, it looks like they have pretty dominant pitching and very overpowered offense. But then you look at who they're playing, they're not playing very dominant, good teams. I think as soon as they play an elite or borderline elite team in a tournament, in the College World Series tournament, regionals, anything like that, I think they're going to look like a slightly average baseball team once they start playing.
Well, what'll really
better quality opponents
cement their status as a pretender is if they drop their midweek game against Iona.
That'll boot them to one ranking above Iona. But my contender is going to be a team that I feel like we've kind of left in the shadows or under the radar as Brennan decides which one's which. But it's going to be Oklahoma State. They're sitting at 26-10 right now. They're heating up. They've rattled off a bunch of series wins lately.
Yeah, we haven't talked about them in a minute.
Yeah, coming down the home stretch of the season, they've gotten hot. Like obviously they came out, they beat Vandy in the series, then had a couple of losses that didn't look too good. So we kind of wrote off Oklahoma State. But like I think I said it last week, the week before, like they still have a better record than almost every team that was in our top 25, like last week or 2 weeks ago. I think if they can take the series this weekend against TCU, I think that might be their hardest. Yeah. And then they have, I think, Texas in 2 weeks after that, and then Texas Tech later on, and then Baylor to finish up the season. And I think if they can beat TCU in the series this weekend, they easily have the potential to win out the last 5 series of the season and pretty much handle the Big 12 in the Big 12 tournament.
Do you think that
And I
Texas?
think
Do you think they take Texas in that series too?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Texas is the powerhouse everyone thought they were coming into the season anymore.
They're getting into skirmishes at second base with Kansas State. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, when I see Texas, like the lineup can bang, but they just haven't been playing well. And I don't know if they're trying to save their hot streak for the end of the season. But if you talk about the Big 12, right, it's got to be like, I would have said maybe a 3-dog race between Texas, Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech before this weekend. But like Texas Tech seems to be they just got swept by TCU, and I didn't think TCU had a great team. So I think it's a 2-dog race. And like if you put Oklahoma State and Texas in a series right now, I would put money on Oklahoma State before I put money on Texas.
Yeah. So that's why my contender is Oklahoma State. We've kind of slept on them pretty much since the Vandy series.
I think
that was the first series of the game.
Actually, no, because we were super high on them the first series. We had them like at number like 2, 1 or 2 or 3, and then they lost to like Gonzaga or BYU or something like that.
They got swept by Gonzaga.
They got swept by Gonzaga. Was the one that made us like really question them, and then since then we haven't really talked to them or talked about them.
Good point though, Eric. I'm glad you brought them up. Is that everyone? I think TJ was.
No, I contradicted his with my Rutgers.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we won't declare a winner or a loser on this one since TJ isn't partaking. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, can't wait to see how things.
Is it time to turn Travis on?
Turn me on, baby. Let's go. Yeah, I'll bat lead off here. My statistic is. My number is 7. Lucky 7 heaven. So Stanford shut out UCLA in the rubber match on Sunday, 11-0. That is the 7th shutout that the Stanford pitching staff has thrown, which leads the NCAA. It just surpassed a number of teams that had 6, which are Texas. So they're still up there in terms of pitching staff, which seems like we haven't seen in a while, but they're still there. Tennessee, would have guessed that one. Omaha, kind of a smaller team playing in a much smaller conference. UCF, we've talked about their pitching staff a fair bit. Vanderbilt, always the pitching is always solid with Vanderbilt. And Virginia, Virginia is looking. Actually, Eric, have you been following Virginia's scores? Because they are slipping, man.
They look like a completely different team, honestly.
They do.
As soon as Geloff took the home run lead, him, Devin Ortiz, Kyle Teal, they were all up there in all the top of the NCAA and the hitting stats. And it was like, well, it's like they reached the top of the mountain. And it was like, well, I guess we got to start walking back down now.
Yeah, because they went to Pitt and lost the series. Granted, again in Pittsburgh, the weather was pretty shitty this weekend in Pittsburgh, but I don't think anyone had money on that outcome occurring. All right, what do y'all have? Turn me on here a little bit.
Mine is 2, which is 2 of the major stats in hitting that UNLV owns, yet they are 84th on ELO. So their overall team batting average is 336, which is number 1 in the country, according to the NCAA D1 baseball page. And they also have 457 hits this year, which is 22 over the second place team, which is yours truly, Travis, Georgia Tech.
Yeah, I saw Parada and fucking Andrew Jenkins are tied for the hit lead.
So yeah, it's crazy that they own 2 of the biggest hitting stats. Obviously getting average is like you're getting on base at that point. You're getting hits to get on, and then hits wise, you're just getting on. So it's crazy to think that they're not producing enough to where they can be in the top 25 or even talked about in the top 30.
Yeah, I guess
I haven't looked at too much into their pitching wise, but I thought 2 was a cool, interesting fact that they are leading in hits and batting average and not performing to that standard, which is mind blowing.
That is pretty crazy. I just checked the scoring margin. They're only averaging 2.5 runs per game more than they're letting in. So clearly they're producing runs, but the pitching staff just ain't there. That's, back to our pretender. Rutgers is still number 3, plus 5.7 per game. That's a little tidbit there.
Yeah. So I have this week I have a runner-up stat, and then the one that my actual stat. The first one is the number 2.
Ooh.
Out of 252 putouts, Kevin Parada has only made 2 errors. He has a .996 fielding percentage.
That's diamond.
The next highest fielding percentage is, I forgot what position he plays, but he has a 1.00 fielding percentage.
So he's only made no errors.
But he's only made 68 putouts. So he's made a fourth of the plays. And Kevin Parada still only has 2 errors. And I saw that, and I just thought that was insane. And I thought, you know who would love this? Travis would love this, because it's Kevin Parada showing out for Catch for You.
I mean, good grief.
But my actual stat, which I saw this one, it's mind blowing, is actually from my pretender Rutgers, is .91 in 52 2/3 innings, which is the most of any pitcher at Rutgers. Jared Collar has a .91 whip. So with every inning, he's averaging less than 1 person on base per inning through 52 2/3 innings. So pretty much the exact opposite of Sonny DiCharo's slugging percentage.
So I'll go with mine. And it leads into our impromptu segment that I'm going to make. 11 is mine. And that is strikeouts from none other than our own Iona's Blake Helmstetter. 11 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched.
Wait, did Iona win this weekend?
No, 1 sec. 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 0 earned runs. And on that note, Iona Watch is
officially over.
Yeah, we nailed this one, boys. Just gonna give that to
Iona. Got the W against St. Peter's, 8-5.
Travis called that shit.
We all did, man.
And Iona did it in phenomenal fashion with 18 hits, probably a season high.
No room for doubt.
4 doubles, 3 walks, 2 stolen bases. Iona is no longer winless.
Things you love to see.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, just cheers up to the boys, because
like
they're out there fighting the good fight, winning baseball games.
Cheers to the boys.
Exactly.
Hold on, the winning baseball game. Let's not make it plural. But I like to think that we willed it to happen.
I think so.
I mean,
if they wouldn't have, man,
I would have felt so bad.
I would have felt horrible.
I mean, not to jump too quickly to our bold predictions, but I mean, that's what we said, is if they didn't get one this weekend, it fucking wasn't happening. So congratulations to Iona. We're as human beings, we're happy to see them win. Now we can go back to shitting on them for being the worst team in college baseball.
Yeah, you got your win. Ride that high. Let's go.
Now that we've mentioned the bold takes, how did our twisted takes pan out this week?
I did very well.
Mine personally.
I know mine hit.
Yours hit too?
I don't remember mine.
I'm going to be honest. I don't remember anyone's. I only remember mine.
I said Bama would win 1 game in Tennessee.
Say that?
And they won on Friday.
Dang.
Oh,
didn't you pick Virginia Tech to?
Mine was Auburn stays hot and beats Mississippi State.
Ooh,
how'd that go? How did that go?
Yeah.
Go ahead and crack that can, TJ.
That's a one-way trip to Yikers Island, my buddy.
Hey.
Mine stayed hot and proceeded true with Kevin Parada becoming the home run leader, which he is.
Unanimous.
I too, with 18 home runs. Not to be I can't go into it, because I'm pretty sure he's probably 2 of 4 players of the week from this podcast. But Kevin Parada, daddy. That's all I'm gonna say. But I guess. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's just crazy that Eric talked about that stat too, because like Parada is so. You better unmute your dude. You didn't even unmute yourself. We didn't get the crack. It's like that's like watching a video of a home run and you didn't get to hear the crack of the bat.
Some ASMR.
So yeah, that's a ASMR can pop for you. No, it's just crazy because like Parada is just so hot offensively, and you don't really consider how much he's doing behind the plate. I mean, 996 is ridiculous.
And I'm pretty sure as a catcher that includes like drop third strikes or errors.
Yeah, pass balls.
Shit like that. Pass balls or errors.
So he's a fucking brick wall that
throws down to second or third on steals, bunts coming down. Like he might be.
You guys think he's the front runner for the Golden Spikes?
100%.
It's
at
tough.
Catcher.
Because I feel like we should start bringing that up.
As a catcher, I feel like it's harder for you to win the Golden Spikes Award. I feel like that's it.
I don't think that's true, because I'm pretty sure
I think anybody can win the Golden Spikes.
I think Adley Rutschman and Joey Bart both won Golden Spikes in the last 5-6 years. So
yes, they did.
I'll take
and
that.
Buster Posey also won Golden Spikes.
But that was a long time ago. It's actually, I think it's called the Buster Posey Award now.
Then.
Actually, let me clarify. The Buster Posey Award is for the best catcher in college baseball. The Golden Spikes is for the best player overall. So we should probably fact check ourselves on whether or not Rutschman and Bart won the Golden Spikes. But yeah, he's becoming a candidate for sure.
I think we can take one person out of our Golden Spikes Award that I think Travis and I both said at the beginning. That's old Tommy Tanks.
Oof. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. I follow NC State on Twitter. There's a lot of tweets, not a lot of Tommy.
Well,
Adley did win, by the way.
Let's go ahead. So I know my bold predictions. I think this will wrap up with everybody's. I predicted that Arkansas would sweep LSU. They did sweep LSU. So I hit on that one, and then I also hit on the Iona win. So that feels good. I'm going to go right ahead and move into my bold prediction for this week. I think it's funny we're talking about Georgia Tech. I always do. Georgia Tech hit 10 home runs against North Carolina in the series. Grand slams by Parada and Tim Borden III on Sunday. Parada hit 2 on Friday. My bold prediction is that Georgia Tech will sweep Duke at home. Maybe I'll go to the game on Saturday because I'm flying to Atlanta on Saturday. We'll see.
Please do.
I'm not sure. I think they will sweep Duke, and I think they will move into the second place in the team home run race. I think they're currently sitting at either third or fourth behind Tennessee, Virginia Tech, and maybe one other team. I know Mercer's right behind them, but that's my bold prediction.
I'll tell you right now.
So
who's in third?
For mine,
Old Dominion.
Mine kind of involves Georgia Tech a little bit. All right. Georgia Southern. My favorite ranked team in my polls that I think everyone should have ranked. And actually, there is, I forgot what ranking site it was, but there's one that's got Georgia Southern at 25. So they're midweeks the rest of the season. They have Florida State. Then they have a 2-game set against Kennesaw State. Then they play Georgia Tech and then Mercer, all in midweeks. Georgia Southern will not lose a midweek game the rest of the season.
Write that one down. Wow.
Yeah.
And
you don't think they're going to lose?
To back you up, Georgia Southern is ranked by D1 at 25 and Baseball America at 19. But you
I am the only SAC boy that has them ranked.
Not call ourselves SAC boys, please. They're not going to win. They're not going to.
There's the title of the podcast, boys.
The SAC boys.
Georgia Southern will not lose a midweek game the rest of the season against Florida State, Kennesaw State, Georgia Tech, and Mercer. They beat Georgia Tech earlier this season. They beat Mercer earlier this season. They beat Georgia.
TJ, just take a shotgun right now, man.
Dude, I'm telling you, Georgia Southern
fucking
has
Marty
big,
Wells, dog. Marty fucking
Georgia
Wells.
Southern Eagles are the kings of Georgia. They have beat every single team that they've played from Georgia. They beat Georgia, Georgia Tech, Mercer. They're going to beat Kennesaw State. They've beaten every team in Georgia.
Alrighty then. Benji, what's your bold take?
Sheesh.
My bold take is from today until Friday, April 29th. Virginia Tech will not lose.
So
That's
they're going to win
6-0.
one game.
So they're gonna lose.
6-0.
No,
It's 6-0.
29th.
Oh, 29th. Okay.
No, not till
There's
tomorrow in the next 4
6-0.
hours.
All right. They're playing VMI tomorrow, Radford on Wednesday, Boston College on the weekend, and then they have another midweek game versus James Madison. That's my take. Not sure about the Virginia series, so we'll see. We'll see how Virginia plays this weekend and how Tech plays this weekend, and I'll.
It
base my
depends who you
opinion
get.
off of that.
Are you getting the last 3 weeks Virginia, or are you getting beginning of the season Virginia?
That's true. So we'll see. I don't know who Virginia plays this weekend, but
TJ, what you
we'll
got?
see.
So mine kind of contradicts yours, Travis. I'm sticking with the home runs of last week because that seemed to do me well. Ivan Melendez.
He's hurt.
Well, oh, he is.
You sure?
That puts a damper on things.
Well, shit. Ivan
See if I can fact
Melendez
check
will. Ivan Melendez will overtake Parada as the home run leader.
Even if he's
But,
healthy, I don't think Duke's pitching is atrocious. Remember, they're like bottom 3 of the ACC, and Georgia Tech's going to have a field day. That's why I'm picking them to sweep.
But one sec, let me double check this. Texas is playing Air Force. 2 games against Air Force, and we in the military know the
They're
Air Force
bad.
the Air Force is good at nothing
Okay, this
They
was
are-
a
but doing paperwork.
so Ivan Melendez missed,
And they're not even good at that.
He missed the, I think, Saturday game. He slid head first into home on Friday and left with a shoulder injury. So I haven't seen any official update on like how long he's supposed to be out.
We're about to have TJ Jr. over here.
Well,
New rotating.
I'm sticking with it. Ivan Melendez, home run leader. By the
I think
end
at this
of
point he
next
just
weekend.
wants the shotgun.
Doubling
Yeah,
down.
I mean, I don't have an extra fucking stat.
Hey, I like the
Well,
confidence.
I mean,
let's give
I
out
think
our
I think a healthy Ivan would definitely do that. He's only 2 down.
yeah, but it's
Yeah, I don't
against
know,
Kevin
man.
Parada.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's give out our player of the weekend segment, and then we'll let TJ highlight the midweeks, and then let's get out of here.
What about mine?
Oh, my bad. I thought you just said Virginia Tech was gonna go
No,
6
he's
and
talking
oh.
about,
Bulldogs.
he's talking
My
about Benjie's
Bulldogs, bro.
Oh
Bulldogs.
my goodness.
You already hit on it at
Please.
the top. Benjie's
So we'll do-
Bulldogs.
Player of the weekend, Bulldogs, midweek preview, wrap it up. So player of the weekend, I kind of copped out on this one. I went with the SEC player of the week. Jarrell Ortega went 8 for 12, 5 RBIs, 2 homers and a triple this weekend against Alabama. 8 for 12 in a series against another big SEC opponent. Pretty much stepped up to the plate and got it done for Tennessee. So who's kicking it off here from the top?
I'll do mine, which I know is the exact same as Travis's. I got Kevin Parada.
That was mine. That was mine as well.
Oh, it was
Well,
okay.
it sounds like this
Oh,
segment.
no.
Sounds like this.
Sounds like
segment's
this
over.
unanimous.
Okay, so this
Uh,
week is called the Kevin Parada segment.
Kevin
Which is
Parada, 5 hits, 3 home runs to get to the top of the leaderboards, 9 RBIs. I have here in quotations, he is literally the best.
yeah, it's crazy
No.
because
He is inevitable.
yeah, go check out my meme. Yeah, last weekend we gave him the player of the week, hit 4 home runs. He didn't hit for the same average, But I was actually going to give the award to Tim Borden III, the second baseman. He had the exact same stat line, 5 for 13, they each hit 5 home runs. No, I was right the first time. They each went 5 for 13 with 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. So they both powered Georgia Tech.
So it sounds like since all 3 of y'all picked Kevin Parada,
yeah,
that Tim Burton. What was it? Tim was it Tim Burton?
Not Tim Burton. Tim Borden.
Tim Borden.
I did have a honorable
is getting
mention.
the Kevin Parada award.
It was Clark Elliott from Michigan, who also went 4 for 4 on Thursday with 3 homers and 8 RBIs as well.
Actually, yeah, my honorable mention, BT Rapol.
4 for 5, sorry.
BT Rapol went yard 3 times against Vanderbilt on Saturday. It was sad to see because he hit 3 home runs against Vanderbilt and the rest of his team went 4 for 29 and they lost that game.
That's horrible. Yeah, Michigan won 18-8, I think, or 18-6. Yeah. Clark Elliott went for 4 for 5 on Thursday or 4.
All right. So congratulations to Kevin Parada for the Kevin Parada, the SAC baseball Kevin
the
Parada
unanimous
award.
Kevin Parada award of the week.
Love
All right, let's get into the Benjie's Bulldogs. Welcome to the new segment of our show. Benjie's Bulldogs is for all complete games, not shutouts. They don't have to be shutouts. The ones I picked were not shutouts, but I do have a Bulldog of the weekend. So to start, we got Saturday, Radford's Zach Davidson versus High Point. Went 9 innings pitched, 2 hits allowed, 3 strikeouts, 95 total pitches. Not bad. Baylor, Kobe Andrade. Sorry if I butchered that. Andrade. 9 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs allowed, only 4 strikeouts, and 88 total pitches. Pretty solid. That was versus Kansas.
What is it when you do a Greg Maddux? Is that 85 pitches for a complete game? 80 pitches?
I think it's 80.
Maybe 90.
Sure
I don't know.
But then we got Friday was Richmond versus VCU. Brock Wirethel, 9 innings pitched, 8 hits, 0 runs allowed, 8 strikeouts, and 110 pitches.
120 strikeouts.
120 strikeouts, yeah.
A lot of drop
pitches.
third
Sorry.
strikes.
I'm looking at a lot of numbers on my screen.
Gave up 95 runs from pass balls. That's a complete game.
Then we got Cal State Northridge versus UC Riverside. Blaine Traxel, 9 innings pitched, 6 hits, 0 runs, 8 strikeouts as well, and 123 pitches. And then we got Benjie's Bulldog of the weekend. Gardner Webb's Joe Simeone. 9 innings pitched, 7 hits allowed, 0 runs with 13 Ks. 122 pitches versus Winthrop. I've noticed because before we moved like schedules wise for like pushing it back, a lot of people pitch complete games versus Winthrop. And for the next segment, I will have how many, because I noticed that there has been at least 2 or 3, but I'm going to go back and look at how many.
Just get CG'd.
So we'll have that update next weekend. But yeah, my Bulldog of the weekend was Gardner's Joe Simeone.
Nice.
So I'd like to, I know it's not a Bulldog of the Week candidate. This is a Bulldog of probably the century. He's not a college player. Roki Sasaki of the Japanese Pro League. He's 20 years old. Last week, he threw a perfect game with 19 strikeouts. 19. 2 days ago, he pitched 8 perfect innings with 14 strikeouts before getting pulled.
He's supposed to get signed within the next year or 2 in the major leagues.
Yeah, I saw his average fastball was 99.5.
Yep.
And in that 8th inning, he struck out the side with 6 fastballs over 101.
Yep.
Don't know why he got pulled. But he averaged in his 2 starts 2.94 strikeouts per 9 with 17 perfect innings. 17. He is retired 52 of the last consecutive batters, which beats the MLB record of 46. Also, on top of that, he now holds the world record for consecutive strikeouts in a row at 13.
Damn.
That's
at
crazy.
20 years old.
Come
Tommy
on
John.
over, buddy. I want to see that.
Tommy John.
I want to know what is going to happen in this next start. I'm gonna get some sort of Japanese baseball league thing on Sling just to watch it, because he's retired 52 of the last batters he's faced.
Whose record did he beat?
I don't know who.
Eric
It was.
Gagne?
It was. I think it was 10. Was
Eric
the
Gagne?
strikeouts in a row? I do not know. Let me double check.
Benji looks like he knows. He
am I
just thinks
wrong?
we're all stupid for not knowing.
Hershiser.
Oh, that's right.
I told you guys Benji knew it.
Yeah.
You can see it in his face.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
let's move. Let's just move on to the
I
midweek.
got
'cause
Clayton and
I
Max
gotta
Scherzer
go.
right here.
I gotta go to sleep.
I'm with Travis on this one. It's a little
False. It was
Yeah.
Corbin Burns, Seaver, and Aaron Nope.
What?
For what?
This also became a new world record, beating out the 10 consecutive
Hold on.
strikeouts.
Oh, that was a different record. but-
Benji's talking about scoreless innings, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I was talking about scoreless innings.
Yeah.
Talking about the 46.
Yeah.
All right. Give us the midweek, Jowers, and let's get out of here.
all right. Midweek rundown here. We got Tennessee plays Bellarmine. Vanderbilt plays Tennessee Tech. Texas plays Air Force. Stanford plays Cal Poly. Mercer plays Georgia Tech. Probably going to need to watch that one.
Big one.
Say what?
Big one.
Oh, Georgia plays Clemson. Also going to need to watch that one. Virginia plays VCU and Georgetown. Florida plays Stetson, home of the shortstop Jacob deGrom. Wake Forest plays App State. Georgia Tech plays
Mercer?
Georgia Tech plays Mercer. Sorry. Texas Tech plays New Mexico. Florida State plays Georgia Southern. Southern Miss plays Tulane. That's probably going to be a great game. LSU plays UL Lafayette. NC State plays High Point. Louisville plays Kentucky. TCU plays UT Arlington. Virginia Tech plays VMI. Gonzaga plays the number 2 Oregon State. Or I'm sorry, they play 2 against Oregon State. Notre Dame plays Portland. Oregon plays Portland. Notre Dame plays Valpo. UCLA plays UC Santa Barbara. Texas State plays UTSA. Maryland plays Towson. Auburn plays 2 midweeks against Alabama State and Kennesaw. Rutgers plays UMass. God damn it. Rutgers plays Iona. UConn plays UMass and BC. Fucking sorry about that one. Good
Who
God.
plays Valpo again?
Oregon
Notre
State.
Dame.
Is it
Yeah,
at
Notre Dame.
Valpo or at Notre Dame?
Don't know.
Go
I
send
had all
pictures
of
of the
them written down.
game, Benji.
I was
Go
gonna
to
say,
the
yeah,
games.
yeah.
Send pics.
Where's it at? Let me know where it's at. I live 5 minutes from Valpo. And
You let
45
us know
from
where
Notre Dame.
it's
I'm almost positive it's in Valpo because I was looking at it earlier.
Okay, well,
All right. Let's get out of here, boys. Good to see everybody. Be some good midweek,
love your
and we'll
faces.
we'll be back on Thursday previewing the weekend action. Later, nerds. Later,
Yeah.
sack boys.
Yeah, sack boys.
See ya.